Today, I wanted to talk about the first two episodes of Ahsoka. I know that I'm a little bit late on this, but I still wanted to give my thoughts on this because this is a show that I've been looking forward to, and I just want to get my thoughts on it. So, first, overall, I just want to say that first two episodes, pretty good. I do have nitpicks here and there, but overall, first two episodes are pretty good. I enjoyed them a lot. It's nice seeing Ahsoka do more in live action. It's cool seeing Sabine, Hera, some of these characters that have only been in the animated series be brought to live action, and they all do a really good job. All the actors give really good performances. Ahsoka feels like Ahsoka. Hera feels like Hera. Sabine feels like Sabine, so on and so forth. They all just do really good jobs. All the sets look really good. All of the fights and action scenes are really well choreographed. I was a little scared with, I don't know his name or if they even have like an official title for him or whatever, but the guy who had the Inquisitor lightsaber that Ahsoka was fighting in episode 2. Really good fight, but I did get a little scared because those lightsabers are cool, like their design is cool, but the one thing that I think is really dumb about them is we see in Rebels how they're used as like little helicopter flotation device. And I was really scared for a second that we were about to see that in live action. And if you like it, that's cool. No hate towards you or whatever. Me personally, even though Star Wars is silly and can have some like weird things in it sometimes, I think that's kind of one of the things that's like a little too much for me, if that makes sense. But that did not happen. I don't even think that we really saw it like spin the way that the Inquisitor lightsabers usually do. But yeah, so I was kind of scared for that, but we didn't see it, so I'm happy about that. Even if we did see it, I kind of would have just rolled my eyes and was like, okay, whatever, this has already been like a thing we've seen, I guess. The story seems pretty fun. I'm not the biggest fan of Ezra, so this show being about trying to go and look for him and see what happened to him after Rebels, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I realize that's kind of the direction that they're going in, and there's other stuff that I do enjoy about it, so I can tolerate Ezra. I mean, I tolerated him for all of Rebels, and Rebels is still a pretty decent show. I have my nitpicks, but that's not what this is about. Either way. But yeah, just the setup to everything. We see in episode 2 that we're getting to explore this unknown galaxy or whatever, which I'm assuming is the unknown region that is so heavily talked about and that we know almost nothing about. I'm pretty sure that we know some things about it from legends, but obviously that's not canon or whatever. One thing that I think would be pretty cool that I was thinking about while watching it, and they were talking about the unknown region or this other galaxy. I'm assuming it's the unknown region. They haven't explicitly said that, but the one thing that came to my mind immediately was the Yuuzhan Vong, or however you pronounce it. I know certain things of legends here and there. I haven't really read anything, but I have some base knowledge on certain things here and there. But I do know that the Yuuzhan Vong come from the unknown region. There was a whole war with them, post-Empire and stuff like that, and they're these creatures that aren't affected by the Force in any way, if I'm remembering right. If I'm getting that wrong, please correct me in the comments, because I don't know a whole lot about them. Would like to know more from somebody who does. but I do know that they were a powerful threat, and that they basically caused like a whole nother war, and I'm pretty sure they come from the unknown region. So that was kind of one of the first things that came to my head while I was watching it. So maybe we'll get to see them in action, but who knows. Let's see some other stuff. They have not been confirmed Sith. They still kind of call themselves Jedi, but they have red lightsabers, so I'm inclined to say that they're Sith or Jedi who have knowledge of the dark side and side themselves more with the dark side, hence the red lightsabers. But I forget their names. I know the master, his name is like Bryus or something like that. It begins with a B, but either way. I like both of their designs. Him being an ex-Jedi from the Clone Wars, kind of expected that. Not really that big of a deal. But I do like their designs. I like the way that they're kind of carried. I like the fact that like we immediately see them as like a threat in the beginning. A small nitpick, but the beginning scene where the ship is coming up to the Rebel, or I guess not really the Rebel, the New Republic ship, and the captain on there is like, Jedi, I'll call their bluff. It's like, seems kind of dumb on your part, but it's fine, it's whatever. But no, I really like their designs. The fact that the woman, Morgan, I think her name was, I'm horrible at remembering names, but the lady that they went there to rescue, that Ahsoka captured from Mandalorian, her being one of the Dathomir witches, I think is a nice little twist, because we don't really see a whole lot of them outside of Clone Wars. If you played Jedi Fallen Order, you know that we get to meet one of the Night Sisters there, but I like the fact that they're kind of bringing in like kind of these obscure people and races and stuff like that to give a new like twist on things, kind of, if that makes sense. But that's really cool. I didn't expect that. Also, talking about the beginning, the text crawl that we got in the beginning, I was not expecting that. It feels a little weird, but I know it's kind of there to catch people up that may have not seen everything, which that is something that I will talk about in my nitpicks here in a minute. But just seeing like a text crawl that we normally see in the movies, but for a show, it kind of threw me off for a second. I was like, okay, this is different. This is kind of cool. I don't mind this. It just kind of threw me off. But yeah, very, the episodes were really good. Had a lot of fun with them. I think they are setting up some really cool stuff. I'm excited to see, I'm assuming, potentially Thrawn again. I'm excited to see what they do with Ahsoka and Sabine and Hera, because we see, minor spoiler for the end of Mandalorian, I guess, but because we see Zeb at the end of Mandalorian, I'm kind of expecting him to pop up somewhere in this, which is fine. Like, it's whatever. Like, this is kind of like Rebels season 5, officially, unofficially, if you think about it, but I know that's kind of what some people are saying, and I get it, and I can see it, but it doesn't really bother me all that much. But yeah, overall, episodes are really good. I enjoyed them a lot, and yeah, they're a lot of fun. Now, on to my nitpicks. Why is Sabine being trained as a Jedi? I know in Rebels she is trained by Kanan to wield the dark saber, because at that point she was going to be the one to wield it. So that kind of makes sense to me. But her being trained as a Jedi when we haven't seen her have any Force abilities is kind of weird to me. Like her having like her and Ahsoka having a master apprentice relationship is kind of weird. Like, her taking up Ezra's saber, like, I'm okay with that. It kind of makes sense. Like, he's the one that, like, left everything kind of to her at the end of Rebels. But them saying that, like, they were that she was specifically being trained as a Jedi, kind of weird. I don't know. It's a nitpick. It's nothing that's really ruins anything for me, but it's just kind of odd. I'm wondering if later she will be revealed as Force sensitive, which I wouldn't be the biggest fan of, but I suppose I think Ahsoka like, it'd be kind of better if, like, Ahsoka, like, was training her just to wield the lightsaber, or, like, a situation where Sabine walks up and is like, hey, I may not be Force sensitive, but because I have this lightsaber, I want to be able to wield it. Could you, like, train me to learn how to wield it? And maybe that's what this whole master-apprentice relationship is, and I'm just reading it the wrong way, in which case, that's totally fine. I don't mind that. It's whatever. But them calling it, like, specifically like a Jedi apprentice, her specifically a Jedi apprentice, and her being, like, the whole thing just being like a master apprentice relationship, kind of threw me off. Again, not that really big of a thing, but it's whatever. Leading into that, I really wish in these 2 episodes they would have gone more in depth about what happened between them, because it's just really vague. They say that Ahsoka just walked away from Sabine, and, like, there were some complications between them because they're both very stubborn, they're both very bullish, they're both, like, impulsive. Even throughout all these years, Ahsoka still kind of has those traits about her, which is fine, don't mind it. But I just kind of wish that they weren't so vague about what happened to them. It's kind of annoying because I know it's going to be something that they bring up later, and it's supposed to be like this reveal type thing where I'm just going to be like, yeah, but why didn't we just talk about this in the beginning? Like, why didn't we just address this early on? So, it's whatever. Again, nitpick, but kind of wish that they went more in depth with that. Like I was talking about earlier, you kind of have to have knowledge of what happened in the previous shows to understand what's happening now. I think it would be a little hard for somebody to come into this show without knowing anything that happened in the previous show. Like, you need to know stuff from Rebels, you need to know things from Mandalorian. You kind of have to know stuff from Clone Wars, but not really a whole lot. But yeah, you kind of have to have the knowledge of other shows to be able to understand what's happening in this one. And that's totally fine. Like, as somebody who watches the vast majority of stuff from Star Wars, I think the only things that I haven't watched as of right now is Book of Boba Fett, because I heard that was kind of meh, and then Andor I heard was really good. Those are the only 2 things that I have not watched that have come out. I plan to go and watch them, but yeah, you kind of just need prior knowledge of other shows to fully understand what's happening in this one. And again, it's not such a big deal, but it is something that will probably leave viewers confused that haven't seen the other shows. But yeah, that was just another thing. And then my biggest nitpick, and I really, really, really wish they would stop doing this. Lightsabers kill people, okay? You get stabbed in the gut, you die. Spoiler for the episode, but if you're watching this, then you should have already watched the episodes. But Sabine gets stabbed in the gut by a lightsaber from the Sith apprentice. Again, I'm calling them Sith because they haven't given an official term, but whatever, not the point. She gets stabbed with a lightsaber in the gut. I realize that it's kind of like off to the side, so maybe it hit like, or it missed like vital organs or whatever, but lightsabers are supposed to be deadly. Lightsabers are supposed to kill people. Lightsabers are supposed to do massive damage to people when you are hit with one. Getting hit with a lightsaber is a big deal. Please stop downplaying lightsabers and how dangerous they are. They did this in Kenobi, and they've kind of done this throughout like the last couple of years of Star Wars as a whole. Reva, or whatever her name was from Kenobi, gets hit from Anakin's lightsaber presumably, and as a youngling somehow lives. We see Reva stab the Grand Inquisitor in Kenobi, and he lives. Granted, I'll give them this. For dark side users, they have a little bit of a pass. Just a small pass, because we've seen before how powerful the dark side is, and if your hatred and vengeance and your anger and all that is strong enough, you can kind of like will yourself to live to a certain point, right? Like Anakin, for all intents and purposes, probably should have died on Mustafar. His anger, rage, all of that kept him alive until he was put in the suit. And even while in the suit, that was probably the main thing keeping him alive. So dark side users have a little bit of a pass. Episode 1, we see Qui-Gon Jinn die from Darth Maul from getting stabbed in the stomach from a lightsaber. Sabine should be dead. There are other ways to show how dangerous a lightsaber is without like going for a kill shot. In episode 2, we see Dooku hit Kenobi in the leg and in the arm. Granted, it's not a kill shot, but that does a good way of hindering the person he's fighting and basically takes them out of the fight. There are other ways to show how dangerous lightsabers are. Please, Star Wars, I'm begging you, stop going for like these fake out shots. Please. You could have had her hit Sabine in the arm, the leg, somewhere. Maybe like, this would be a little drastic, but maybe even cut off a limb or something. There are other ways to show how dangerous lightsabers are. Because we knew, even then, her getting stabbed right there, she wasn't going to die. So why go for a kill shot when you're not going to take it as a kill shot to begin with? Please, Star Wars, I'm begging you, stop doing this. It shows that lightsabers aren't as dangerous as we've seen in the past, and that, because here's the thing, if Sabine can come back from an attack like that, Qui-Gon should be alive, and the whole prequel trilogy like should have turned out completely differently. But granted, you could argue that maybe they were able to rush her to like medical quick enough or whatever. Either way, that is supposed to be a kill shot. Hit them in the leg, hit them in the arm, disarm them, cut off a limb, do something else. Stop downplaying how powerful lightsabers are and how dangerous they are when you get hit in or like your chest, stomach area. Cause in all other media that we've seen, you get hit by that, or you get stabbed, or even slashed across like the chest or whatever, you're dead. You're gone. Like, lightsaber kills. Please stop doing this. That is my biggest complaint about these episodes, and for current Star Wars right now, is that they heavily downplay how powerful a lightsaber is and how dangerous it is. Rant over. Other than that, episodes 1 and 2 of Ahsoka are really good. I'm a big fan of Ahsoka as a character. I'm happy to see her do more. I like what they're setting up. I have my nitpicks here and there, but overall these episodes are good and a good start to this series. I think we're getting 8 episodes in total, so I'm looking forward to seeing more. I'm excited to see what they're planning on doing with this, because this is obviously, and these last couple of Star Wars shows have kind of been like planting the seeds for like where the sequel trilogy kind of picks up like years and years down the line. So like Thrawn returning, or potentially returning, is kind of set up for that. But I'm excited to see what they do with that. I'm excited to see what they do with Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hera. And yeah, really good episodes. Excited to see more. And outside of my nitpicks, really good. So if you have not, I would recommend go watch these. These are really fun to watch. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Ahsoka. So like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments. And yeah, that'll do it for me. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.